another shot of Rafi. She's looking real serious. Then there's another one of Chris, doing his thing. Picard's voice comes back saying, "But we are here to write the future." So that's kind of cool. They're gonna... It's like, it doesn't matter what's already happened because we can't change it. But we can change the future, and let's do this. As he's finishing his sentence, it goes to like a scene. He is talking to someone in a chair, and we only see their back. It could be Chris by the hair. We're not 100% sure. And we see Chris in that pilot chair, and he says, "Hold on." So it could be that's, he's standing there talking to him or whatever. And what's weird is he does this sort of power up thing for the ship, but there's not really any controls, and they're holographic controls. So it's is he actually in a ship that he's flying, or is he using some sort of a remote control to fly something?
I think if I had to guess, we've because don't forget that this does take place, in real time, after Nemesis. Mm-hmm. So, and they're always progressing, right. With technology, whatever. I think this is just, instead of having a surface that you touch, I think it's holographic controls of the ship.
But you think it's actually the ship and not some way to control some other ship?
I mean, am I 100% sure? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing it is to control his own ship. Okay. But I wouldn't rule out anything else there.
Okay, and then because, guys, even though I've been watching a lot of Star Trek, I could be wrong. They show a ship, I assume it's his ship, it goes off into warp drive. It kind of looks like a Romulan ship to me, but I don't know. Sort of the shape, but not exactly. Does that make any sense? Or
it could be
wrong.
It could be a Romulan warbird. It vaguely looks like a Romulan warbird, but it definitely looks updated.
Right. So it's is that on purpose, or is it just me thinking of that because there are Romulans in this? I don't know.
Right.
It may never come up, but I'm also the one who's trying to read what the signs say. So then it goes to another dark screen with clouds, and then the words pop up, "A legend." So then it fades, and you see Picard standing in front of some, this configuration of, red lights and circles. Not sure what it is, but it's one of those, hero shots.
Mm-hmm.
Then it shows another space battle. There's two ships, and it looks like they're shooting, phasers or something. And one of them kind of looks like that one that flew off. The other one is a little farther behind, so I couldn't really see it. But it looks like the one they're shooting on looks to me like it would be a Federation ship, just because they always look light and bright and clean to me, all the Federation ships. But
it does look like a Federation ship. It almost looks like Reliant. It almost looks like a version of the USS Reliant, but without the bar on top. But it does. I think that's a Federation ship. Okay. It definitely looks like one.
All right, I knew I had to ask the expert here. So after that, the screen fades back into the one with the words on it, and it says, "Never leaves the fight." So we know a legend never leaves the fight. And I assume that's supposed to be Picard, because he is a legend.
Exactly.
And possibly a wanted man. So then we see Picard dueling with some guy, which is great because he's still got that fencing stance. I was so hyped up by this because I'm oh yeah, we get to see him sword fight. I'm excited.
He looks great. Yeah. It looks like and it looks like he's somewhere kind of primitive-ish that he's fighting.
Yeah. And it sort of looks like when we saw that shot of Elnor before, where there were people standing around him, and it was kind of a community sort of place. That's kind of the same look it has.
Yeah, I agree. Feels like it's the same place.
So, these shots we're seeing are probably not in like any kind of necessarily in chronological order. Some of them are, some of them aren't. You know, throw us off. That's what they like to do. Then we see like a quick shot of someone. Either someone's in a suit with a red light on it, or it's like a Borg or something. Because there's Borg in this, I assume it's some Borgy kind of person. But it was too dark to really tell for me who it was. And they break this glass. Maybe it's a mirror. I don't know.
It looked like a helmet to me. I don't think that was a Borg.
Yeah,
I think
it looked kind of helmety, but I didn't try to make it lighter to see if the rest of it looked helmety. Because, you know, sometimes they have a little bit of stuff on their head, and sometimes they don't. So I was like, maybe I just missed the part where they have a forehead showing.
I think that's a helmet.
Okay.
I have it like paused in that second. It's a very quick shot though, so it is hard to tell, but I think it's a helmet. So this could be like a security person or like a burglar of some kind.
Ooh. Oh, something's getting burgled. I like it. This is where there's a lot of scenes kind of cutting back and forth. We see Chris and the doctor. They're high-fiving and they're laughing. They're having fun. Teamwork. Then it goes to another Borg cube. And then we see Daj, it looks like in her bedroom maybe, like writing something. And then she looks directly at the camera. And you hear a voice that says, she was sent for a reason. And you don't really know who it is. And it goes, and you see this Romulan woman speaking to this guy who's also Romulan. Because he has pointy ears, but he has shaggy hair. So I'm really confused with some of these people. I need to know who they all are.
He could be Romulan. He could be a Vulcan also. Yeah. But he has a pretty emotional face. Actually, they both do. Yeah. So they're probably Romulans. Over Vulcans, only because Vulcans don't normally show that much emotion.
Right.
Of course.
Right. So, you know, we can only assume that she's talking about Daj because they just showed her, you know, she's here for a reason. We know that she has something to do with this entire plot of this season. Unless she's a red herring, which I cannot wait. I mean, Rebecca, I cannot wait.
I know. Believe me, I know. We're going to be speculating all winter until we get to January. But, like, I don't think she's a red herring. I really think that, I mean, they could certainly set up a red herring in this show. I mean, that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like maybe she doesn't know everything about herself. Like, it could be one of those deals of, like, I don't know why I'm important. I just know I'm important. Like, it could be that story. Which is a very Trek story to tell, but I think we're going to be following her a lot.
Yeah, I agree. So, you know, we see these Romulans. He says, "I'll get the information we need." So then we see a picture. We see another shot where it's Daj kissing a guy that vaguely looks like that guy, but you know, because he has the same sort of hair and the 5 o'clock shadow and all that good stuff. So it's like, oh, is this how he's going to extract some information?
Looks like it.
I mean, you know, right. So then we have another shot of Elnor. He's got a sword. Then there's also like a quick, fast scene. It looks like a forest with like the sun coming down, and there's a figure there. And it's like, is it somebody wearing some sort of outfit so you can't tell that it's a human, or is it actually an alien? I don't know. I guess they put it in there because it was a cool looking shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because could you tell anything from that?
Yeah, I have it like paused. I couldn't tell. This looks like Endor to me. It's a fucking Ewok. I don't know what that is.
Right. I actually was like, is this an Ewok? You know, kind of thing.
I know. So I have no clue what this is or who that creature is.
Then we see like a guy in a room for a couple seconds, and he has like some stuff on his face, so I don't know if he has some sort of like Borgy implants or something.
I know who that is.
Who is it? I don't know.
That's Hugh. That's
Hugh? Oh, he's got some of his stuff taken.
He's had his implants removed, but that is Jonathan.
I feel
I'm gonna mess up his
silly
name.
now that I
No, don't feel silly. It's on for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like why would you? That's Jonathan Del Arco. That's his name. I messed up his name in the previous trailer breakdown. Jonathan Del Arco. That's Hugh. So
nice.
If we look, and it's such a quick shot. And the only reason why I even caught this was because on Twitter, Jonathan Del Arco was responding to people who were screenshotting the trailer, sending it to him going, "Is that you?"
Oh.
And him saying, "It's me."
Oh,
that's you.
That's
great. Only reason why I knew that.
Okay.
His implants have been removed from his face.
But he still has like scars or something.
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And is he the one we see later?
I think you do see him again.
Okay. So after that, it goes on. We have a woman saying, "I help people who have nowhere else to help them." And then we see that it's 7 of 9. She's talking to Picard. I wrote in a more primitive place, as in it's not one of these flashy, newfangled kind of high-tech places. So I just assume they're maybe at Chateau Picard. Maybe they're at that other place where we saw him sword fighting someone. But they're not in one of these other bright, shiny
places. Yeah.
And then we cut to a scene of her shooting guns. Like, she's got one in each hand. She is walking through someplace just shooting everything, looking like a complete badass, and it's great.
Mm-hmm. I love her in this trailer. I really am buying into the theory that 7 of 9 is out here helping X-Borg, helping liberate people from the collective.
Mm-hmm.
And not to... I'm going to make this comparison, and I don't think it's the same thing because, of course, this is a made-up story versus the real deal that I'm about to mention. But when you think about, like, in real life, Harriet Tubman, when she gained her freedom from slavery, she went back time and again and liberated people who were enslaved and helped them to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I don't mean any disrespect to that comparison.
Right,
this, of course, is a science fiction fairy tale story. But I think 7 is kind of on a very similar journey. She escaped from the Borg Collective or was liberated by Captain Janeway. And I think now she's really embraced her humanity. And I think she's helping these ex-Borg. When she's saying that I help people have no one else to help them,
mm-hmm.
I think that's who she's talking about.
Right.
And I think she's out here kicking ass and taking names. And I think that she's helping X-Borg. And I wouldn't be surprised if her and Hugh have a storyline in some way together.
Right. Because maybe she's the one that helped him get rid of his implants and stuff. So.
Yep, maybe.
It's intriguing. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. So it fades to black. Then we come back. We see a little house in the distance. It looks sort of like a traditional, maybe earthly house, maybe some sort of not so high-tech society on some other planet. We don't know. We see a man's back. He's like washing dishes or something, and you hear a kid yell, "Dad, come out here!" And then all he has to do is yell 2 words, and we know exactly who it is. He says, "Stop yelling!" And it's Riker.
It's William Riker being the best dad ever.
Yes. Like, I want to hear Will Riker's space dad jokes. Like, I think
he's got space dad jokes.
Right? Right? So, he kind of like yelled out the window, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear the kid yell, "It's Jean-Luc Picard!" And Riker looks over to the left out the window. And then it switches, and it's Picard has come in the house, and he's like, "Hello, Will." And then it goes back to Riker, and he's looking out that window, and he turns around, and you see him, and it's just so great.
Yeah, I love he's like shocked, like, "Oh my gosh, it's Captain Picard," and I do love that. I love that hug that Picard gives Counselor Troy. Like, he just full on embraces her.
Yes, and it shows it like from 17 different angles, and